Hey everyone, this is BowieBarks. Welcome back to my vlog. I have not done a vlog in a little while because I've mainly been focused on making other kinds of videos, like crafting videos, or the video that I did recently on vacation where I took my partner's plush for a little journey with us, which there is a little bit more purpose to that, which I'm going to be revealing a while from now. But for now, I just thought it was fun to make a video that, didn't have to have any dialogue, and that was just focused on telling a story through the visuals. Plus, it was a really fun vacation. We got to go to the Murakami museums in South Florida, and to Tate's Comics, and to a few other places. But anyway, on to this video. I generally try to keep a more positive tone. I talk about what's going on in my life, but I don't try to just focus on the negative. But part of the problem is that there are some negatives going on. I admittedly have not been having the best time with mental health lately. That's something that has been an issue my entire life, and it's something that I've been working on a lot, and I have a lot of help in my life. Don't get me wrong, but it's always something that's there. Taking a quick break, just to note that it is currently raining outside. It just started storming while I was talking about that. I don't know if that's ominous or not. It's been overcast, cloudy, and raining for the past 3 days here, which is really good for all the plants and the yard. Not good for me getting the dogs to the park, which has bothered them quite a bit. But anyway, back on track a bit. There's just a lot of things that have been going on that I've been trying to work through. As you may know, I do web development for a living, and I mainly focused on doing website maintenance through a business that I started over a decade ago called Fix Up Fox. And I've been self-employed for about 14 years now. And, it's had its ups and downs, but right now, the down that it's having is a little bit different than some of the downs that I used to have. I'm starting to feel a lot more of the crush of finding new clients. It's always been a challenge for me, but now it's gotten even harder. And I've been slowly losing clients. And some of the, churn is to be expected, but some of the things that I've been hearing have been a little disheartening. So I work with other agencies, and that means that I'm not having to find the clients directly, but it does mean that I have to have them find the clients, and they've been slowing down on the amount of work that they've had too. And then I've had clients who, have straight up told me that their own businesses have been heavily affected by things like AI, by different AI tools that have come out that have made their own businesses less valuable and harder to make money. And that's certainly something that I felt. There's a lot of things that I've done things with AI, and I can find it to be useful for coding. But I can also see how, it's gotten to the point where a lot of things that I do that aren't very carefully managing and maintaining and having that personal connection with somebody, a lot of the things I do, like building new tools for websites, is getting honestly a lot cheaper and easier with AI tools. Part of me thinks that's really cool in some ways, but when it comes to, how it's displacing people from jobs, that's the part that obviously a lot of us are having issues with, myself included. So I've been trying to think about how my future is going to go. I always knew that I wasn't going to be doing just web development forever. And yeah, I'm really looking to whatever my next step is going to be. Part of that, I want to be in public. I want to be sharing with y'all. That's why I'm doing these vlogs. And, I'm hoping that I have something to look back on in the future, but also that I start building up a community of people who have like-minded interests and who, want to be along here for the same journey that I'm on. What else? I've been trying to focus on my physical art a bit more as well. So my last video that I put up was about making these Game Boy cartridge fridge magnets, and I love how they turned out. I even talked about how I was going to improve them, and I've already started on that. And I've been trying to get back into drawing. So that I did Inktober last year, and that I make things like stickers and buttons on my own shop. But I'll call it a less than flattering critique of my art recently that really got me disheartened because it was tied in with a lot of other issues that have been going on. Namely a bit of rejection from communities and a bit of silence on, what it is that has me ousted from some communities. I know I'm not the best communicator, but I found that a lot of things that I say or write have been, I'll say, wildly misinterpreted by people, which is really frustrating because even when I explain myself, the damage is usually already done. That's me in a semi vague way of saying I try to figure out what issues people who I've never met, never heard of have with me, and can't get any of that. But at the same time, it still is like physically, tangibly affecting things in my life. Anyway, all that being said, I have been trying to do some art again. I was sketching this morning, last night. I'm not going to pretend I'm a great artist here. Obviously, I'm drawing a lot of furries. I'm really trying to get different proportions right, different bodies right, and I also did some animal drawing. So I'm trying to draw some birds that I see because I like birds, and draw my dogs. I was also doing some human studies from a book that I have and things. All this in this past week or so, and yeah, I'm not trying to say I want to succeed out of spite because that's not really how I want to live my life. But I do want to continue to improve. The things that I did, like the stickers that I've made, those took me so much effort to put in, and I definitely really found a lot of help with the tools I use, namely Procreate on my tablet, which helps smooth out some of the strokes that I do, because you see I have a very sketchy, loose feel. So when I finally make the line art, trying to get it a little bit more exacting. And then I use an app on my desktop called Pixelmator that I use to do some coloring and convert things into SVGs, vectorize it and things like that, because I'm not really going to do that very well on the tablet. And also, that's just something I'm a lot more comfortable with. So I realize it's definitely not the way a lot of other people make their art. I'm still not good at shadows and highlights, and I watch tutorials, and I try a bit of that, but I'm still trying to get better at just working up my sketches into finished pieces that I like. So yeah, all that being said, every one of those things that I already have are things that I spent a long time working over, and I know that it's not the best work. There is a lot of artists that I see and I buy their work that I think is amazing. I know I'm not there yet, but it still is disheartening how casually comments that people make about the flaws that they see can, cause more harm than me seeing it myself. So yeah, those are just some of the things I want to share that have been going on that have been a little bit downer, quite honestly. And then, of course, this is just my personal life. This is outside of all of the other things in the world going on. Some that do directly affect me, some that don't quite as much, but still cause anxiety. You can fill in your own list of the things that are doing that to you right now. So that's the majority of this vlog update. It's really, I want it to, not try to always be like, hey, everything's awesome and great, because I don't want to be a downer all the time, but I also don't want to get into that social media thing where I'm only allowed to show the best, most positive things going on and pretend that everything's perfect. Things are going rather well in my life overall. I have a husband and partners who support me, support what I do, who appreciate me. I appreciate them back, and we work together to build good lives for ourselves. So nothing takes that away, and I'm not going to ignore that. But outside of that, there are things that have been making it harder, and so I really just wanted to bring those up today. I know that things will get better, but when you're in it, that doesn't always that doesn't always help just to hear that they'll get better. You have to see that some over time. So that's about all I have to talk about. I have some projects coming out that I really hope you'll be interested in. I will be fully transparent. My goal has been for a long time, and still is, finding a way to fund making things that I can just give away and share with others, whether it's tutorials, workshops, products that I make, files for products that I make too. Like if I'm making plugins, extensions, tools online, some of the different projects I've been working on slowly behind the scenes, off and on, or ones I've mentioned like Pop Owls, this very web app that I'm working on. I want to be able to do those things and not expect people to support me directly, not expect people to pay for them all directly, but hopefully have enough people, who do like to see more things like that in the world and who, are likewise able to help basically fund it. That would be, having someone pay me already to do their website work is a great validation of, yeah, this is a thing I can do. I've been doing it for a long time. I know I can. But having someone externally validate that means a lot. And that's what I'm trying to do here as well. I know I have a long way to go. I'm recording this now, again, as like a reminder to my future self of how far I've come and how far we've all come together. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I hope you're having a wonderful day. That was a quick shower. The rain has already stopped again, so maybe I'll be able to get the dogs to the park this afternoon after all. All right. Everyone take care. Take care of yourself. Be good to one another. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.